Hi. There's a Latin term called caveat emptor. And for all you Latin buffs out there, if I've totally butchered the pronunciation of that word, don't get on me. I didn't take Latin in high school and college. But the term caveat emptor, however it's pronounced, means let the buyer beware. In the old days of real estate, that used to rear its head a whole lot more than it should have. A classic example would be a seller's got a hole in the wall, so they hang a picture over the hole. Buyer comes through, loves the home, everybody's happy, house closes. Of course, the seller takes a picture. Now there's a hole in the wall, and the buyer goes to the seller and says, hey, what's the deal? You should have told me. Well, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And there really wasn't much the buyer could do. That's a long time ago. Fast forward to now, today, in 2012, and certainly beyond, we have procedures set in place so that that's not going to happen to a buyer. The seller needs to disclose what's happening, but more importantly, you, the buyer, have the opportunity to have the home inspected by a professional home inspector to make sure that you know what it is you're getting before you get too far down the road. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Why you as a buyer should always have a home inspection on a home you're getting ready to buy. My name is Rich Simonin. I am the owner and manager of Wesco Realtors, where since 1985 we have been the largest independent real estate company in Riverside, California. Our agents live and breathe this market every day, and the videos that we have here are as a direct result of the questions we have gotten from our clients over the years for things that they want to know more about. Today we're going to talk about home inspections. There's no fees, there's no tapes to buy. Just listen to the video and hopefully you'll know more about home inspections and why you ought to have them when you're done with this video than when you started. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, let's talk about why you need to have a home inspection. There are three main reasons why you need to do it. Number one, protection. You need to know what it is you're getting with the home. Yes, the seller is supposed to give you disclosures to tell you about it, but in my home, I've got a couple of guest bedrooms. They happen to be my kids' bedrooms, but they don't live at home anymore. So they're now guest bedrooms. I don't know what's going on in those guest bedrooms. I'm not in there unless I'm in trouble with my wife. The bottom line is, take for example, just maybe there's plugs in the walls. I'm assuming the plugs work, but I don't go around and plug anything into them. So my disclosure, if I'm selling my home, is going to say, yeah, I think all the plugs are fine. But what if a couple of those plugs died years ago? I'm not going to know about it. That's the kind of thing a home inspector is going to catch. So the number one reason to get a home inspection is for your protection. Second reason, when a home inspector does his or her thing, and in the end you have this list of items that may be wrong with the home, now's the time when possibly the seller is going to fix some or all of those items. If you don't know about them and you close escrow on the property, and then after you've been in there a week or a month or whatever, now you find about these problems, seller's not going to fix them. They're long gone. They're moved and you don't have any recourse. So you want to know about it ahead of time so you can get the proper person to do the repairs that need to be done for you to buy the home. The third reason for you to get a home inspection is that if you have a home insurance, home protection plan, like an insurance policy, very common when you buy a home, in which it's a policy that's put on there if things break down the road that you can just call them and have them fixed. A lot of times on these home insurance companies, they won't tell you this, but they don't cover pre-existing conditions. And sometimes you're going to get someone out that the insurance company sends out who's going to look at your problem and go, whoa, this looks like it's been here a long time. This was probably here when you purchased the home. We don't cover it. You'll have to pay for all this yourself. Now you can pull out your home inspection report and say, here's when the inspector checked it, and when I bought the home, see, it worked here. Now they're going to go ahead and have to take care of it. So those are the three main reasons: your protection, get the right person to pay for them, and to help you out with your home insurance company, your home protection plan, if indeed you do have one. That's why you ought to get one. What does a home inspection cover? Pretty much everything, top to bottom. Roof, attic. They're going to check out the walls, the electrical, the appliances, the hot water heater, the air conditioning, the venting. If you have a crawl space underneath, they're going to go there. They're going to check out the plumbing. They're pretty much going to look at everything in this home that they possibly can, and they're going to give you a very detailed report. That report's going to be yay thick, and they're going to go through it and go through every room in the home, and they're going to have the electrical and the appliances, and they've checked the heater, and they've checked the water heater, and they've checked the air conditioner. You're going to get this big, long report that's going to detail all this out. At the front of the report is the one page that most everybody is interested in, which is the summary report. And what it's going to say is, hey, Here's our whole big report with photos and everything, but the bottom line is, here are the 8 things that you might want to consider are wrong or need to be repaired or in some state of disrepair that you need to know about. And that's the cover page. That's what you need to understand, because that's what you're going to talk to the seller about it. So just be aware, you get this big report. It's very detailed, it's very good, and the summary page is going to tell you what's happening inside that report. Okay, I'm going to get to you what you do with that summary page in just a moment. What makes a good inspector versus a bad inspector? Well, let me go down the mechanic road. Good mechanics, bad mechanics. You take your car to a good mechanic and they're going to check out the brakes, and the good mechanic is going to say, you know what, your brake pads are a little low, but they should be fine. You got another 5,000 to 8,000 miles worth of brakes on this. Don't worry about it. But do go beyond that, then come in and see us. We'll get your brake pads replaced. Okay, fine. The bad mechanic is going to say, well, your brake pads are getting a little low. I'd sure hate to be on the freeway and have to stop in a hurry and have them go out. So, you know what, you might be able to go a little bit longer, but, you know, it's going to leave it up to you, but I'd sure hate to see anyone get hurt. Well, of course, the bad mechanic has scared you into doing something that you didn't need to do right then. The good mechanic has been honest with you. A home inspector is the same way. A good one is going to explain things to you that are going to give you a clear idea what needs to be done. A bad one is not. Let me give you an example. And first, let me say, nobody is trying to hide anything from anybody. Agents, nobody wants to try and do anything. This is for the stuff that nobody knows about. However, let me give you a representation of what a good home inspector would do and what a bad one would do. Here in Southern California, most of the houses are made out of stucco. And as a result, especially if you've got a big wall on the outside and it's exposed to the sun, we get what are called normal stucco settling cracks. You've probably got them in your home right now. Go out and take a look. You've never noticed them. They're little hairline cracks that appear in the stucco. They're there because it's hot and the sun beats it all the time. They're there because maybe over the years, the little rolling earthquakes we get, not the big ones, I'm talking about the little ones that we all in Southern California are completely used to. Maybe that moves things a bit. Bottom line is, you get a very tiny hairline crack in the stucco. It's no big deal. We've all got them. A good home inspector will look at you and say, you know what, these are normal stucco settling cracks. Don't worry about it. I'm going to note them, but everybody has them. It's not a big deal. A bad home inspector is going to say, well, I see some stucco cracks. They could be from normal settling, but it could be a sign that your foundation is getting ready to slip and the whole house is going to fall down around your head. So I'm going to recommend that you get a structural engineer out here to check the foundation of the home. Please, all right? Yes, obviously if the home is tilting like this, like that old room in Knott's Berry Farm, yeah, you've got a problem. Normal stucco settling cracks, you do not have a problem. In the first case, the inspector notified you of them but said don't worry about it. In the second case, all this inspector was worried about was covering his or her you know what. Get yourself a structural engineer. Well, good luck with that, because they're going to come out and they're going to want to dig everything. The whole thing's not going to work. It's just not going to, it's not going to happen when you get that deep into a structural engineer for a stucco settling crack. My point being, no one wants to have you buy anything where anything's wrong, but a good inspector will explain it to you like a good mechanic. A bad inspector is just going to be there to scare everybody to death, so just be aware of that. What do these cost? What's a home inspection cost? Well, it varies. I mean, I've got pamphlets here. Look at all these pamphlets from all these different home inspection companies. Bottom line is, generally a home inspection is going to be around $200 to $500. It depends on the size of the home. The bigger the home, the more rooms they have to inspect, the more things they have to do, so it's going to be a little bit more. You'll know what the price is before you ever agree to it, all right? How do you find a good one? At this point, what I would simply tell you is to trust your real estate agent. Your agent is involved in this, and your agent will know the good ones, and your agent will also know the ones to stay away from, and which all they're out to do is collect their check and then scare everybody to death, okay? So trust your agent, but somewhere between $200 and $500. That should give you a bit of an idea what happens with home inspections. There's just a couple of things that we want you to note. The first one being, if you're having a home inspection done on a home that you're buying, you should be there. Try and arrange it when someone from your side of the equation, husband, wife, mom, dad, I don't know, somebody can be there. It's far easier for the home inspector to verbalize what's happening and what they might see than it is to do it in a report. And a report can look a little scary, but in real, the inspector will tell you what you need to worry about and what you don't need to worry about, and it's far more informative for you, so you should try and be there. The second thing is this summary page. Do not be under the misunderstanding that once items get noted on that summary page, the following 8 things are things that we've noted, that does not mean the seller has to fix them. That is not the case. That simply you notify them. Now, you are notified of them. Now you and the seller need to sit down through your agents and decide who's going to do what and who's not going to do what. Some of the things may be very small and very picky, and the seller may say, look, you got to be kidding me. It's a loose doorknob. It's a little jiggle on the window crank that opens it. I'm not fixing those. But obviously if the plugs are out, if there's a leak in the bathroom, if the toilet doesn't work, if the dishwasher's broken, maybe the seller will fix those if they didn't know they were wrong, because they understand. So just don't be under the misunderstanding that once it gets put in writing on the summary page that means the seller has to fix it. They do not. It becomes a negotiation. Be open, be fair, be reasonable. Don't blow your transaction out because of it, unless of course there are some really major things and nobody wants to deal with them. We totally get that. All right, that should tell you all you need to know about home inspections. We hope this has come in helpful and handy for you. If you have any questions at all, for gosh sakes, give us a call. Our web address appears over my left shoulder, I think, when we do these. Our phone numbers are around. Get a hold of us. I am more than happy to answer whatever questions you might have about this or anything else. Otherwise, have yourself a great day, and remember, be very careful out there. It's a goofy real estate world. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.